Well, now what? I mean, we've all seen the reports. We've all seen the blog article and the news article or whatever. FM25 is delayed till March next year. And yeah, it's a kick in the balls, isn't it? We're all disappointed as fans. We're all disappointed as people who play the game. It's about 24 hours since that announcement. I've just finished work. It's Friday, the 11th of October. This will probably come out at some point over the weekend. And I've had time to sort of reflect and sit back. And I didn't want to shoot too fast and didn't want to just go all guns blazing and complain. Because yes, while the initial disappointment was there, what we need to do is look at the bigger picture. And Sports Interactive don't want to create a game or release a game that is a shambles. A great case in point, Cyberpunk 2077. I think Amiga Luke mentioned it in his video, but very pertinent to me as well, because my favourite open world game, I mean, Football Manager is probably my favourite game, but one of my favourite games ever is The Witcher 3. Made by CD Projekt Red. I've played that game through so many times, and when Cyberpunk 2077 was announced, and everything was leaked on the way, like the gameplay, the reveal, everything about it, I just couldn't wait for it. I could not wait. The day it was being released, I was ready. I had it downloaded. And unless you've been living under a rock, you know it was released and it was an absolute shambles. And it has since been fixed and it is now fine. Have I gone back and played the game? No. Will I? If I have time, yeah, most likely at some point. But I always find other things to do and other things to make. So at the moment, I've not played that game. And that's because the reputation of it was tarnished by releasing a broken, buggy, glitchy mess that alienated me. And what Football Manager don't want to do is they don't want to alienate their fan base. They have worked so hard to grow over the last few years. They have had the most back-to-back the most successful games ever. Since COVID, they have done brilliantly. They hit 5 million players for the first time, I think, on FM23. I might be getting these numbers slightly wrong, but then they exceeded that. Whatever they got to, they exceeded that in a very short space of time on FM24. They've surpassed 10 million. I think it's now over 12 million players or downloads or whatever on FM24. Now, admittedly, some of those are going to be very casual. Some of them might have been getting it for free. Some of them might have been playing like mobile through Netflix. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of how that player base is calculated. But 12 million players. It's a game that's growing when 5 million was a milestone that was hit not too long ago. And they're moving to Unity to appease the console market and the PC player market. They want to make it more accessible and more in line with a game that's in the 2020s. And all power to them. And it's not going to be ready. So rather than release a mess, they're going to release it later. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be good. And I, for one, have got trust in them. Yes, have they handled it badly up to this point? You better believe they have. Lack of announcements, just announcing things they're removing from the game. Putting a roadmap and a two-week delay, and then 11 days later, after clamouring for pre-orders, announced it's going to be another 4.5, 5 months. That's been handled poorly. I won't defend them there. How that's happened, like what's happened from point A, where they announced the initial delay, to point B, where they've announced this further delay. There's probably just some sit-down meetings. More things might have cropped up. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But look, Football Manager is a very, very complex game, and they're rebuilding it from the ground up. So something's happened, and they've said, look, this is going to be a shambles. No, not having it. And so I support them in that decision, because I want the best game that it can be. I don't want a player base to be alienated. And yes, this is not my full-time gig, but I'd love it to be one day, and I make videos on YouTube for Football Manager, and I don't want half the player base to be alienated by a bad game that they just go, I'm done with this, and they're not going to watch it anymore. Because that would just be bad all round. Because I love this game, and I've got full confidence that it will deliver. Will FM25 deliver to what we think? Possibly not, because we expect a huge upgrade with the Unity engine, and with the delay, people are going to be expecting a hell of a lot. I'm just going to temper those expectations and just think back and say, have they ever really let us down with a game? You can all hark back to the Champman 4 when they went to the 2D engine, when yes, it got delayed till March and it still came out as a glitchy, buggy mess. But quite a few people are too young to remember that. People who are old enough to remember that, of course, social media wasn't around at the time, so there was less recourse for online vitriol and everyone to get up in arms. We all played it, we all still play it, and we all have loved the game. Once you're in, really, with Football Manager, in my opinion. It's one of those things. Once it gets you, and you're in for life. And that's where we all are. People who subscribe to this channel, you're going to be the hardcores. As I say, 12 million player base. I've got 10,000 subscribers. I think the biggest channel is Zealand on YouTube with over 300,000. Then there's a couple over 200, Worth the Space and Tom. And then another handful over 100k. Look, Lujo, Dr. Benji, Amiga Luke. Who else? Clates is on his way. Crew is close. If I've forgotten someone, forgive me, but there's quite a lot of people who are in the 50 to 100,000s. But it's a small community. And I think in a minute, there's a lot of toxicity in the community where we all need to just take a step back, breathe, and go, yes, we're disappointed. It's probably for the best. What does that mean going forward for me and on my channel? Well, I'll be honest with you. I had some ideas that I was saving for FM25, as well as I've already sampled and tested a couple of ideas, or bringing a couple of ideas for the back end of FM24, the Everton Wonder Kids series with Spin the Wheel. That was an idea that I had that I thought, let's give this a go in the sort of the back end just to see how it goes. And that has done brilliantly for the channel. It's one of the best performing videos in the last 10. 1 or 2 out of 10. It's like over 15,000 views at the time of recording. And it's gone far better than I expected. So I've already got another one on the way. Spoiler, it's Wrexham. A few tweaks and everything, but we're going to run with that format as well. I've got a few other formats of videos that I'm going to bring to the channel as well. A few experiments, a few more narrative-based things that sort of halfway in between, a bit like the Everton thing. Just different ideas that might be different. They might hit, they might miss. But all I say is just give them a chance, because I'm trying some new things, and I want things to stay fresh. I don't want it to be stagnant. And what I will say is, whilst I do normally try and get 3 videos a week out, between now and when it comes out, some of the videos that I've got coming, some of the ideas, bit more setup, bit more heavy on the edits, might be a bit longer as well. It might not be viable to get 3 out a week. And I won't be putting 3 out a week just for filler and for the sake of it. I pride myself on thinking that all my videos, when I make them with the view of, when I set off and I think of the idea, I think, would I watch this? Some of the max youth ratings and some of the other things, I watched all those on people, like big TV deals for an entire league and all that. I've watched all those on other people's channels as well, which is why I've adopted some of those ideas and try and put my own sort of spin on it, with the versus international side of things. I've got some other ideas coming, maybe club versions and that, like just another one with Ralph, where we gave him a second chance at a club. And did that do well because it's Ralph and you lot all love Ralph on the channel? Or did that do well because it was max youth rating, loads of money, and it was a second chance for a manager at a club? We might try it again with some others. Like I say, some of these different ideas that are slightly a little bit off to the left of some of the things that I normally do, they're the kind of things that I'm going to be doing. And I won't be forcing content out just to hit 3 videos a week, because I don't want it to feel like it's filler content that you guys are going, oh, he's just trying to force this out just to get a few views and whatever. Like, that would be insulting to you as viewers, and it'd be insulting to me as a creator, and it would come across that I wouldn't be feeling it. Full transparency, the amount of ideas that I create, set up, simulate, you've seen the video. If you've seen the videos, this probably isn't the first video you've ever seen of mine. If you've seen the videos, you know I'm a borderline glorified reaction channel to my experiments. I don't look at them in advance. I react in real time. So the surprise, the shock, the joy, the annoyance, it's all as it happens, So the amount of videos that halfway through record, 10 minutes in, 50 minutes in or whatever, it's either dull, nothing's happening, it's failing, or it's just gone completely wrong. I sack most of them off. I get rid of loads of things, unless I think there's something salvageable. And it's the Scunthorpe end stadium one, for example, the meltdown about how they got a different stadium. When I got through that, and when I was in the edit, I was like, should I get rid of this? And I thought, that's quite entertaining. The meltdown was quite good. It was a very legitimate reaction, and I quite enjoyed when I watched the edit. I thought, what, people probably enjoy this, and they have. It went down very well. But I sack off so many videos that you guys don't see. So many ideas that just don't work and have just done nothing. And it's just 20 minutes or 30 minutes of a video where nothing happens, and it's like, I'm going to sack it off. So I do sack off so many videos that don't make the grade, and realistically, I will continue to do that. I won't be putting filler out. I won't be forcing videos out on the channel just because I want something out and not upload slot. So if there's days where you expect an upload and there's not one, I do apologise. As I say, I'm going to experiment with different formats and different things. So I would really appreciate your thoughts and feedback on some of those videos. When you see something that's a little bit different to normal, comment below whether you liked it, any ideas to tweaks and better it, and that kind of stuff. And any ideas that you already do have, and you always do pop them in the comments as well. So I do really appreciate all those ideas that you come forward with. But any ideas that you do have, let me know in the comments and I'll put my own spin on it. But I have got some great ideas, in my opinion, and some very fun ones that are going to be coming in the near future that yeah, if you've completely got the arse with FM at the moment and you want to just step away from it, that's entirely up to you. You go and do you. It's your time, your valuable time. Who am I to say come and watch my videos? But if you enjoy my content, there's some good stuff that's going to be coming, so do stick with it. And yeah, stick with Sports Interactive because they've never really let us down. I mean, FM23, I think, was quite a disappointment, wasn't it? It was a very, very weak upgrade from FM22, isn't it, in most recent memory? And was it FM, was 19 or was it 20? 19 from 18? And there's sometimes there's very marginal upgrades and you go, oh, this I could have just kept the old game. And some people do. FM24 was announced, and they also announced FM25 with the upgrade of the engine. So FM24 by rights was going to just be one of those data updates, so to speak, that was almost irrelevant to buy. It's been probably the best FM, well, ever, really. It's so good. I'm loving it still. A year on, the early access beta, or advanced access, whatever they want to call it, that came out, what was it, about 18th, 19th of October, almost a year ago today, to the day, like 51 weeks ago. And I'm still loving the game. And I will continue to love the game. I will continue to bring videos to the channel. I might even do a few rebuilds, because I know quite a few of you in the comments have asked for rebuilds. It's not my usual style, but I have got a series, Fresh Prince of West Yorkshire, that's going to continue to its conclusion. I might try and do some rebuilds and sort of intersperse them in with some of the experiments. And as I say, some different kind of narrative experiments and some story-based content that's going to be coming to the channel as well, that hopefully will be a little bit different and something that you guys will really love. But I just wanted to give you guys an update and my thoughts on the absolute shambles that is FM25 and the delay, and just say, look, stick with it, because they always do deliver a great game. And as I was saying back a minute ago, went off piste, FM23 wasn't great in compared to FM22, but as a game itself was still great. As a community, we demanded more as an upgrade from 22, but if that was the first FM game you ever played, you'd have bloody loved it if you got into it. That's the thing. It's a very, very steep learning curve. Once you're in. And I felt FM23 was good. Not good enough from FM22, personally. That being said, still good enough. And a very good game. FM24, the best so far. A great love letter to it, the FM series, as they said. We've got a few more months of that. Let's savour it. Let's enjoy it. Because it is, what, like, all of us here, watching, you're watching this channel, one of the 10,000 subscribers that is here. You're one of the, you're the hardcores. It's up there in our favourite games. We all love FM. So let's continue to love it. Let's continue to enjoy it. And let's just look forward to FM25 with a positive mindset. Take good care of yourselves, gang, and I will see you soon.